Hey everyone, Mark the Movie Man here. It is that time, and I've got two independent horror shorts for you today that we're going to review. Both of these are going to be featured at the Chicago Horror Film Festival that's going to be going on this very weekend. Yes, that's right. Now, the first one we're going to take a look at is Gordon Finn. It's brought to us by director Wolf McKinney, and it stars Willie Adkins, Anne Sheehan, and Stuart Ogilvie. And we basically get the story of Gordon Finn, who's this kind of psychotic murderer who, on his final day in the asylum before he heads off to jail, gets one final interview with a psychiatrist and a fellow student, if you will. She's doing a thesis, so she's along as well to help study Gordon Finn one last time before he heads off to prison. Well, this day doesn't go quite as planned, and we see how the ugly events unfold in Gordon Finn. Now, what I really enjoyed about Gordon Finn was the setup for this. This film's about 20 minutes long, so you don't have a whole lot of time for character depth, but we do get some backstory on Gordon Finn. We find out that he's been kind of messed up since the beginning, since he was a young kid, and in fact one of the first scenes we see is of a young kid, and I think the kid acted very well. Usually for indie films, any film, they say people you don't want to work with are pets and kids, and I think the kids acted very well. He really conveyed that he was kind of a disturbed boy, and you could see how he was a younger version of Gordon Finn. Now, the adult Gordon Finn is being played by Willie Adkins, and he does a great job during this interview of moving in and out of the light, and while doing that, depending on what he's saying, kind of just alluding to the dark force that's rolling around inside his head. And so I really liked how they did that. They played with the light and used the shadow to help convey just how dark this person really was. Now, the doctor, Stuart Ogilvie, I bought in that he was his doctor there for a long time, and Anne Sheehan playing the student along as well, who isn't, she's kind of getting disturbed by what old Gordon Finn is saying. I liked that. I liked the play between these three different characters, and the dialogue between them felt natural, was well acted, and well delivered, which you don't always get in independent films. Audio was decent in here, and it's all shot in black and white, which always adds for the little extra creepy atmosphere going on, and it definitely works for a short film. Gordon Finn is an excellent short independent horror film that has a twist ending that I honestly didn't quite see coming, didn't know quite where they were going to go with it, and when that shoe dropped, I was surprised. So there's pluses in the column there as well, and I think you'll be surprised too once you see Gordon Finn. Now, the other short film we're going to take a look at today is a little bit shorter film than Gordon Finn. This one's about 10 minutes long. It's Balloon Feast, and this one was actually directed by Willie Adkins. Now, Willie Adkins also directed Bacon, the movie, which I still have to see. I really want to see that film. And this is also written by Justin R. Romine, who did a very award-winning short called What They Say. He directed that. He wrote this story, Balloon Feast, about a bartender who, while on his way to work, he finds an unconscious woman. So he brings her into the bar, and he's trying to help her out, be the good Samaritan. Well, he soon regrets his choice as he starts to hear voices in his head, and he's brought into a dark and evil, surreal place. Folks, Balloon Feast surprised me in that in 10 minutes it really kind of messed with your head a little bit, mostly because of the way it was shot. Very done, kind of surreal. You're put in the role of the bartender. You're kind of made to connect with him. The bartender is played by Andrew Jacob DeHart, and he plays it well. And you get his confusion as well that comes across the screen really well, and really puts the audience in his place and going, oh man, I would have probably did the same thing, but now I'm not so sure, especially as the events play out. Again, we have another surprise in here, as most horror indie shorts usually have a little bit of a twist to them. That's what kind of makes them special. They don't play out that long, and they always have that interesting twist that you might not see coming. Didn't see it coming here with Balloon Feast either. I kind of thought something was going to happen, but didn't expect what happened in what did actually happen. Now, they do this great thing with the audio where there's this inner voice, very creepy, that the bartender's hearing, and I loved how they played that out, and it's edited very well. Though I will say I didn't quite care for the stylistic kind of grainy look they gave it, that kind of grindhouse look in some spots. Didn't quite care for that. That's just me personally because I've seen it a lot. It's been used quite a bit, but it still didn't take away to how well this film was written and directed, and editing and pacing is done really well. No real slow spots, though there is another part here with dealing with the cell phone, but you'll get that in horror films or independent and big budget films. So outside of those things, I really enjoyed Balloon Feast. Didn't quite expect for it to go where it did. Very surreal film, and it will twist your mind just a little bit. So two great shorts, Gordon Finn and Balloon Feast. A lot of fun to watch. I liked how they were done, and I can see why they made it into the Chicago Horror Film Festival again, which is playing this weekend. So Chicagoites out there in surrounding areas, go see it. It's not, the entry fee's not that much to admission, and you'll get to see some great independent horror, because that's where we're getting our really good independent, our good horror stories from, is the independent scene, and you should support it whenever you can, especially your local horror filmmakers. And that'll about do it for us here at The Final Cut. Thank you so much for watching. As always, we're growing in subscribers. Tell your friends, have your friends tell their friends. Come on, subscribe. Check out our other videos. We're going to be covering Oshkosh Horror Film Festival in 2 weeks. Got a whole lot of great things lined up. And you can catch it right here on The Final Cut. Because remember, keep that ticket stub.